Imagine this: you're in your 60s, retired, living on a fixed pension, and suddenly you're gripped by an urge to gamble online. Your savings dwindle, debts pile up, and the financial security you worked decades for slips away. This isn't a hypothetical, it's reality for too many in our aging population. Today, I want to talk about why financial education and treatment are critical, especially as our society grows older. With people living longer, global life expectancy is now over 73, and in many countries, a quarter of the population is over 65. Financial missteps can have devastating consequences. An aging population faces unique vulnerabilities. Cognitive decline, loneliness, and fixed incomes make older adults prime targets for financial disorders like compulsive gambling or overspending. Without robust financial literacy and access to treatments, we risk leaving millions exposed to ruin. Let's start with the scale of the problem. Financial disorders aren't just about poor budgeting, they're psychological conditions, often as crippling as addiction. The Financial Times recently highlighted the story of Sonny, a man in his 50s who overcame a 30-year gambling addiction through hypnotherapy. His story shows how financial behaviors can spiral out of control, especially later in life. Online casinos, trading apps, and easy credit prey on vulnerabilities, and older adults are increasingly at risk. Studies show problem gambling among those over 60 is rising, with 10% of seniors in some regions reporting risky financial behaviors. Aging brains are less adept at impulse control, and loneliness can drive dopamine seeking habits like gambling. Without financial education to recognize these traps or treatments to address them, older adults can lose their life savings in months, plunging into poverty or dependence. So, why is financial education the first line of defense? It's about empowerment, teaching people, especially older adults, how to spot predatory financial products, manage budgets, and understand risks builds a shield against exploitation. For example, knowing the odds of online gambling or the dangers of high interest loans can deter impulsive decisions. But education must be tailored. Older adults need programs that account for cognitive changes like simplified materials or community workshops, and governments and non-profits can lead here. Think of initiatives like the UK's Money Helper service, which offers free financial guidance. Yet, education alone isn't enough. Many, like Sunny, know the risks but can't stop. That's where treatment comes in. Financial disorders, like any addiction, often require professional intervention, and as our population ages, we need scalable solutions to meet growing demand. Now, let's talk about treatment and why it's a game changer. The Financial Times article showcased hypnotherapy as a promising tool for financial disorders. Sunny's transformation, walking out of a session, unable to recall the urge to gamble, uh, illustrates its potential. A 2014 study found hypnosis as effective as cognitive behavioral therapy for gambling addiction, with over 50% of participants relapse free after 6 months. Other treatments like counseling or support groups also work, but access is limited, especially for older adults. Rural seniors, those with mobility issues, or those on fixed incomes often can't afford or reach these services. This is a crisis in an aging world. By 2030, 1 in 6 people globally will be over 60, and we're not prepared. We need investment in accessible treatments. Think telehealth, hypnotherapy, or subsidized counseling to protect our elders. Why does this matter so urgently? An aging population amplifies the stakes. Older adults aren't just losing money, they're losing independence, dignity, and security. Financial ruin can lead to mental health crises. Sunny contemplated suicide before seeking help. The ripple effects are huge. Families bear caregiving burdens, and public systems strain under welfare demands. In the UK, gambling related harm already costs the economy £1.27 billion annually, and with an aging demographic, this will soar unless we act. Financial education can prevent these losses by fostering resilience, while treatments like hypnotherapy can break destructive cycles. But both require systemic support. Governments must fund programs, regulate predatory industries, and train professionals to handle age specific needs. Charities like Gamble Aware are open to new approaches like hypnosis, but they need resources to scale. Let me address a counterpoint. Some argue that personal responsibility should suffice. Why fund education or treatment when people should just know better? This ignores the reality of aging, cognitive decline, emotional vulnerabilities, and sophisticated financial scams make self control harder. Expecting a 75-year-old to navigate online casinos or resist manipulative ads without support is unrealistic. Moreover, financial disorders are medical issues, not moral failings. Just as we treat alcoholism or depression, we must treat compulsive gambling or overspending. The science backs this. Hypnosis, for instance, works by rewiring subconscious triggers, offering hope where willpower alone fails. An aging population deserves compassion, not blame. And that starts with equipping them with knowledge and care. So, what's the path forward? First, integrate financial education into lifelong learning. Schools teach math, but not money management. Let's change that and extend it to seniors through community centres or online platforms. Second, expand treatment access. Governments should subsidise therapies like hypnotherapy or CBT, especially for low income seniors, and leverage technology like apps for follow up care. Third, regulate the industries fueling these disorders. Stricter controls on online gambling and predatory lending can reduce risks. Finally, raise awareness. Normalize seeking help for financial disorders just as we do for mental health. By 2050, nearly 2.1 billion people will be over 60. If we don't act now, we're condemning millions to financial ruin in their twilight years. In closing, financial education and treatment aren't luxuries, they're necessities in an aging world. They protect our elders from exploitation, preserve their independence, and ease the burden on families and societies. Sunny's story shows what's possible. With the right tools, even the deepest financial disorders can be overcome. But it takes collective action, policymakers, communities, and individuals working together. Let's invest in financial literacy and accessible treatments today so our aging population can live with dignity, not despair. Thank you.